Hey yo, math time. Today we're going to talk about 10.1, which is measures of center. The three that we're going to discuss are mean, median, and mode. And for each one of them, we're going to define it, and then we're also going to use this example above in order to actually calculate out the mean, the median, and the mode. Hopefully here, this isn't the first time that you have seen it, but if it is, we'll catch you right on up. But like I said, hopefully this is a repeat. So the first thing we're going to look at is the mean. So our problem today is on the last 8 tests. Bobby earned scores of 92, 92, 84, 78, 72, 83, 92, and a 72. So what are the measures of center, the averages for his scores? So the first thing we're going to talk about is the mean, and the definition of that is the average of a data set. Average of a data set. So off to the side, I'm also going to write out kind of our steps for finding mean, and then we're actually going to work it out. So just right off to the side up here, I'm going to write kind of our steps. And there are a few steps. We've actually seen kind of these steps before. The first step is to find the total. So total up, or find the sum. So find sum. Those of us that don't remember that the sum is the total, I went ahead and put that into parentheses as well. And then the second thing that we are going to do there is to divide the total by the amount of numbers. Divide by amount of numbers in this set. So using our example, we have the numbers. Let me just kind of back over so we can see all our numbers. Bobby earns 92, 92, 84, 78, 72, 83, 92, and 72. When I add up all of those, 92 plus 92 plus, I'm going to go ahead and continue. But if you would go ahead and pause the video and actually work this out, add up and find our total. When we come back, when you push play, you can kind of see what that total is, and then we'll go from there. So go ahead and pause. All right, so hopefully we ended up with 665, but then with that number, like our steps, that pink, it says to divide by the amount of numbers we have. So up here I've already listed that out for you. So on the last 8 tests, so therefore there are 8 numbers. So when we go ahead and divide that by 8, go ahead and do that in your calculator. And when we do that, we get approximately, and it looks like our answer is 83 points, and then it's 125. So I'm just going to go ahead and round to the nearest, I'll write it all out first, and then I'm actually just going to round to the nearest whole for this one, just because we want to see like kind of our nearest whole number. So like, for instance, our mean, or another word for mean is also the average. So if you'd like to write that out, our average is going to be the number 83. All right, now we are going to look at the median. So if I go right on over here, the median, we're going to first off define it. So the median is kind of known as our middle number when we put the order from like least to greatest. So we're going to call it the middle number. But then make sure always to have it in that order of least to greatest. So once it's in that order from least to greatest, that's when you can find that middle number. Make sure that you're making that mental note right there. So again, we kind of have some steps of finding this. So steps of finding the median. We're going to first put them in order. So list the numbers in order. So in order, least to greatest. And then with that, we are going to kind of just find that middle. So find middle, if I could spell. Okay, and so when I just quickly put these in order, I want you to try it first to make sure that we have the same order. So go ahead and push pause. All right, so after putting these numbers in order from least to greatest, I started with 72, so I have those two 72s and 78, then 83, 84, 92, 92, and then 92. So I'm basically just going to split the data in half. So I actually put my fingers like on the ends of the data, so like at that 72 and then 92, and I kind of just work my way in. So I say, okay, 72. So I work my way in. You don't necessarily have to cross them off like this. But okay, so I've looked at those two. Now I've looked at those two. Now I've looked at these two. So then our final two numbers, they look to be this 83 and this 84. And our line, or kind of our middle number, is going to be in between those two numbers. So whenever you have an instance like this where it's in between two numbers, you're just going to take kind of your knowledge of what mean is, and then you're going to find that middle number of the data for us. So like I said, we're going to use that mean. So we have 83 and we have 84. We know it's in the between those. So we're going to add those two things together. So 83 plus 84. And then we're going to divide them by 2 because I have those two numbers in order to figure out the middle of our data. So right here, you actually can already see right in between 83 and 84, we already know is going to be like 83.5, but sometimes it may not be this close. The data, it might not be as easy to see. So go ahead in your calculator and do 83 plus 84. Looks like you get 167, and then when we take 167 divided by 2, oh, good. Okay, we end up with our median being 83.4. And then go ahead and box that one in, just like you did above. So, no, so far the mean and the median are pretty close to each other at that 83 or that 83.5 for that median. All right, the next thing we're going to look at is the mode. So the definition of mode is what occurs the most often. So occurs most often. And kind of that key word for mode is this most right here. It happens the most. So looking at our numbers above, we see that 72, it looks like that occurs twice. Everything else up until, 92 occurs once, twice, and 3 times. So therefore, our mode is going to be 90. And if you were to explain that, you would just say that that occurs 3 times.
Alrighty, so here's some helpful hints or visuals for you to see. Take a look at the mean. I added all the letters of the word mean, and then with that divisor, or that fraction bar right here. Then for median, the one that's in the middle, right? But if there happen to be 2 numbers in the middle, you can see that what we did with this red dashed line was we added up these 2 numbers and then divided. First you have to add for sure. Add up those 2 numbers and then divided by 2. So essentially you're finding the mean of those 2 numbers in the middle of the median if needed. And then also the mode, notice that those are some visuals that do help some people. There's also this song that goes to Hey Diddle Diddle. And so I actually have Hey Diddle Diddle pulled up from CoComelon because, you know, I have a 1-year-old and we listen to CoComelon often. So this is the tune for Hey Diddle Diddle. So using that information, I'm not going to sing it, that's great for you, but you would say, hey diddle diddle, the median's the middle, you add and divide for the mean, the mode is the one that you see the most, and the range, which I know we don't actually do this chapter, but the range, just so that you know, is the difference between. That way it rhymes. So hey diddle diddle, the median's the middle, you add and divide for the mean, the mode is the one that you see the most, and the range is the difference between. So you just take the biggest number minus the smallest number. So that has helped people in the past. Median's the middle, add and divide for the mean. Mode is the most, mode, most, and then again, range, just so that you know, is the difference between. All right, you're going to go ahead and pause this video. Hopefully you liked my song, because, I mean, I tried really hard on it. So you're going to find Mentor Center, which are the 3 M's. Go ahead and pause this video, check that out, and then push play to check your answer. Okay, take a look. My mean, I got 35 minutes, because when I totaled up those 7 numbers, I got 245, and divided by 7, ended up with 35, and I went ahead and put that label minutes on. Median, because there are only 7 numbers, that means there is going to be 1 middle number, and that middle number was 34. But just a quick reminder, if there are 2 numbers in the middle, or there's an odd or an even number of data or numbers in your data set, then you are going to need to find the mean of those 2 middle numbers, or the average. So go ahead and add those up, divide by 2. But like I said, in this instance, because there's an odd number, it's just that one number. Then also the mode in this instance is 30 minutes because 30 occurs twice. If there happens to be more than one mode, you just list them both. But then if there's no mode and all numbers just occur once, you would just say no mode. All right, hopefully these 10-1 notes make the most sense to you ever. Good luck on your problems.